PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the podcaster who's here for you. I'm here to keep you company, to take your mind off stuff. I'm going to be a little bit silly, but I'm just not feeling silly right now because I want to remind you, you're important and your sleep is important. And I'm here to try to keep you company in the deep, dark night. It's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. And when your hand hits the fridge tomorrow, these are the ways we're able to be here for you free twice a week. All right, everybody, Scoots here. We're just passing episode 1050 when I'm recording this, and I want to thank everybody that's been supporting the show. We would have never got to episode, I don't even know, 500 without the people that support the show on Patreon. Our Patreon membership is what keeps the show going, keeps it getting better. People that are so rebellious, they say, I want to pay for a free podcast. And they say, Scoots, make sure you're really clear and really simple when you're talking about the Patreon. But hearing from the $10 and $20 patrons, we've been doing more and more bonus content, more Fearless Flyer episodes, Behind the Great British Bake Off episodes, Ray episodes, more and more stuff that just wouldn't work in the ad-supported feed is going into that Patreon feed at $10 and $20 a month. All intro episodes, it's just so much variety. There's so many options. You get so much back for your money, but you really get to support the work that goes into the show, so it's there for everybody. You're rebelliously paying for a free podcast because you know it takes a lot of hard work to make it. You appreciate it. You maybe even love it. Maybe you spent thousands and thousands of dollars on sleep stuff like I have, and you say, paying 10 or 20 bucks for Sleep With Me, that's a bargain. I get way more than that out of it every month. Well, if any of that resonates with you, you could sign up at sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. If you become an annual patron, you pay all at once, you get 1 month free. You could do all that at sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. But everybody, check it out. If you get value out of the show, think about giving some value back. But you're going to get even more in return. There's over 1,000 episodes in some of those feeds, and you can find it all at sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. Thanks, everybody. Sleep With Me podcast is brought to you by Progressive. Are you thinking more about how to tighten up your budget these days? Drivers who save by switching to Progressive save over $700 on average, and customers can qualify for an average of 6 discounts when they sign up. A little off your rate each month goes a long way. Get a quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2020 and May 2021. Potential savings will vary. Discounts vary and are not available in all states and situations. All right, everybody. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. And we all know relationships take work, especially the most important relationship you have in your life, which is your relationship with yourself. And if you're like me, you know, and a lot of other people out there, you'll go to any length to help someone you care about. I mean, we go out of our way to treat other people well, but how often do we give ourselves the same treatment? You know, we invest in ourselves through exercise, people take on coaching, research, reading books, taking development courses for work. But what about investing in the tools you need for your emotional well-being so that you can flourish in your relationship with yourself and with other people? This month, BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you that you matter just as much as everyone else does. And therapy is a great way to make sure you show up for yourself. And a big part of me going to therapy every single week is, learning how to be kind to myself and not let my internal critic or my fears or my feelings take over, and having the tools to greet those parts of myself with kindness, with care, with love. And then that carries to everyone else I come in contact with. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try and see why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp Online Therapy. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Sleep Sleep With Me listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/sleepwithme. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/sleepwithme. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody. It is time for the Sleepy Supporter Zone. One part of the podcast in each area where I pop my peas, if you please. I thank the listeners who supported the sponsors, because that's how the show, I really do need your help to be here on a regular basis for free twice a week on any podcast app. So if you do support a sponsor, that's huge. Please share about it on social media or tag them, tag me. We've been getting less and less Sleepy Supporter support. You can always fill out the form at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsors. It really, really, really does help. And I really, really could use your help because we have a lot of free sponsors. If you sign up for a free trial, maybe you're not in a position to support the show on Patreon. Maybe you're not in a position to support a sponsor. Please sign up for a free trial. Give the sponsor a test. That's why the trial's free. And let them know about it, that you heard about them on Sleep With Me podcast. It is huge. I'm really asking, if you're hearing this, to just take a second, check out Audible, sign up for Audible's free trial, use our Caviar code, free discount, LinkedIn, Headspace. Please use those free trials. And please, if you take a second to let the sponsors know about it. That's how we can keep them throughout the year. And that's how we're able to be here for you free whenever you want it. Thank you so much for the people that do that on a regular basis. I really, really appreciate it. The second part of the Sleepy Supporter Zone is you getting the support you need. If you're in extra need right now, there's links to resources you could connect with right now, including international resources. If you need some extra help, please use them. And then it's about supporting the members of our community through our actions, saying Black Lives Matter, saying stop AAPI hate, saying, hey, let's be a part of positive change. There's links to resources where you can learn more, you can take action. And one of the organizations we're supporting this year, and you're going to hear a lot about them, is the Midnight Mission. You can learn more at midnightmission.org or on social media. The Midnight Mission is very active. And the Midnight Mission has a twofold mission. One is to offer a bridge to self-sufficiency for people experiencing homelessness through recovery services, counseling, education, training, workforce development, and continued care services. And two, it's to make available the necessities of life to people experiencing homelessness: food, shelter, clothing, personal hygiene needs, and medical care. So sign up for our newsletter. It's at sleepwithmepodcast.com/rebel news. It's a free newsletter. It's just going to be about our support. There's tons of free fun videos coming out. I'm going to be doing tons of fun stuff, and you can learn more about the Midnight Mission and how to support organizations in your community as well. sleepwithmepodcast.com/rebel news. Thanks, everybody. Oh, Mystery Bard. A lot of people help out on the show. Who are they?
Poster son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound or on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support your scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. If you want to keep up to date on all the fun stuff we're doing to support nonprofit organizations, you can find out more at sleepwithmepodcast.com/rebel news. That's our newsletter just for the fun stuff we're doing to raise awareness and funds for nonprofits. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/rebel news. What do you say we slow it down and get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play, and I'll do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever is keeping you awake. It could be thoughts you're thinking about on your mind that from the past, the present, and the future. It could be physical sensations. It could be feelings, emotions coming up for you. Maybe it's changes in time or temperature or routine. Maybe it's travel or you're expecting something. You got something coming up. It maybe just whatever it is. It could be anything. Whatever's keeping you awake. I'm here to keep you company and kind of take your mind off of it. Not immediately. It's kind of like a slow thing. And the way I do that, or the way I propose to attempt to do it, is to send my voice across the deep, dark night. I'm going to use lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones, pointless meanders, superfluous tangents. So that means I'm going to go off topic, I'm going to get mixed up, then I'm going to go backtrack and talk about nothing, but all to keep you company so you could fall asleep. So creaky, dulcet tones, pointless meanders, and that is kind of how the show works. It kind of feels like, are you ever going to get to the point? Are you ever going to make sense? I say, no, I'm here to keep you company and to talk about something you don't need to listen to. And that's one of the first things that might be hard if you're a new listener. You say, wait a second, this is a podcast I don't really listen to, but you're talking and you're supposed to tell a story, right? And I say, yeah, eventually, but it's kind of a story you could listen to. So the podcast is here, and I'm here to the very end. So if you can't sleep, you can listen. But I think the fact that the listening is optional, you say, okay, you're going to be here to tell me a story for the next hour or so. And I say, yeah, not directly a story that goes from A to B to C, but yeah, I'll tell you a story, and I'll go off topic, I'll get mixed up, I'll go on tangents. But yeah, you could listen to it. It's like background noise, but just an upgraded version of it. So that's one thing. Is this is a podcast you don't really listen to. That takes some getting used to. In fact, there's so much getting used to it that for most people it takes 2 or 3 tries for the show to kind of take hold, where you realize, oh wait, I don't hold on to the show. Sleep with me. The way we take hold is by you letting go. You say, oh wait, it's not a... Because at first, if you're skeptical or doubtful, you're trying to make sense of this podcast or wait and anticipate when I'm going to put you to sleep or whatever. That's the other thing. Really don't put you to sleep. I'm here to keep you company while you drift off. And just in case you can't sleep, I'm here to the very end. Or if you need a break during the day, I'll be here. So that's a couple things to know. What else? Give it a few tries. That's what hundreds of thousands of people have said. Hey, it took 2 or 3 tries. At first I didn't like the show or I didn't get it. And then I realized, oh yeah, exactly. The most important thing I could tell you is that the reason I make this show is because you deserve a good night's sleep. Your sleep is important and you're important. And if I can help you get the sleep you need and you deserve, that is important to me. To take your mind off of stuff so you can drift off, because then your life is going to be a little bit better, a little bit more manageable. Ideally, at some point, you could be out there and you could be flourishing. So if I can be a part of that, and more so in a less halfway there way, you know, I'm someone who's gone through a lot of bouts of sleeplessness, and it makes me dread bedtime. Or to start to get have feelings about it like hours before bed because they say, well, I don't know what's going to happen. And I want to be there for you for that part, to make it feel less lonely and maybe take a little bit of that strong feeling out of it. Well, you say, well, at least Scoots is going to be there. So I can feel, you know, I might not be looking forward to bedtime, but at least I don't need to dread it anymore because I got my boar friend, my friend in the deep dark night, my boar bae, my boar cuz, my boar sib. He's going to keep me company, so the deep dark night might feel a little bit less so because I'm going to have him there. And there's hundreds of thousands of other people listening too that kind of are going through the same thing. That we all know how it feels. That's the other reason I make the show, because I know how it feels there. Right? That's why I call it the deep dark night. So that's why I make the show. A couple other things that can throw you off if you're new is the structure of the show. And that's understandable because our structure is very different, but it serves a very specific set of purposes. So I just want to tell you about that. So the show starts off with a greeting. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Normally I say something funny, but I just didn't have anything silly or funny on the top of my mind. But the goal of the greeting is so that you feel welcome, you feel seen, and you say, oh, okay, this show is a little bit lighthearted, about something serious, but a little bit lighthearted. So that's the greeting. Then there's support for the podcast, because the podcast comes out for free twice a week. So anybody that needs it can listen to it for free. And the way we're able to do that is through the sponsors and the patrons. Then there's support for listeners. Then there's an intro, which is separate from all that stuff. The intro is actually a show within a show. And the intro, it serves a few purposes, and it's made this way so that, one, it can introduce new people to the podcast. Two, it's new every time. Like, I don't repeat the intros, or I don't have a script. I kind of have a general structure I follow. But that you get something new every single time, so that whatever part of you is keeping you awake can't say, oh, here goes Scoots again. Like, you really never know when I'm going to get mixed up and I'm going to go off topic. So it gives you something new, because I feel like repetitive stuff has never worked for me in the past. It's worked for me repetitively twice or three times. And then I say, my brain just knows, oh boy, now it's going to start raining there on the tent. And then it's going to loop in 18 minutes. So that's one part of the intro. It's a show within a show, because, and it goes on and on and on for like 10, 15, 20 minutes. And that part is that it's a part of the wind down routine for the majority of listeners. And that doesn't mean there's a wrong way to use this podcast. As you become a regular listener, you might find that you want to skip ahead, or you might find you're already in bed falling asleep, and that's great. But for a lot of people that listen to the show, and you might want to try this out, is that the intro is their wind down time. So you could start getting ready for bed and listen to the intro. You could get in bed and get comfortable, or you could be like on the couch or on the floor. That's what I've been doing the last few nights, doing your wind down routine and getting into bed, like in a figurative sense, and not so much like you could actually, well, I guess it's not a figurative sense. Like, I don't know, having a wind down routine. It's something that I know works most of the time, not all the time. But, having some sort of a transition between wake time and trying to go to sleep time. And that's what the intro is. It's a transition. And so you could listen to story-only episodes on Patreon or skip ahead, but try it out at least. Even if you've been listening for a few weeks, say, okay, I'm going to try a wind-down routine. Maybe I'll doodle. Or for me, I've been meditating, but I've been lying on the floor next to Koa with my legs up on my bed. None of that's based on any other thing other than, I said, let me try this position here, because then I can put my head on Koa's dog bed, so she feels like I'm there for her. But I don't know why I have my legs up. I just said, well, I guess because there's not enough room for me to lie down where her bed is. It's close to my bed, but not where I would step out of bed, obviously, because, Koa would be sleeping there. And I don't know, I just lie there, do some meditating, I do some journaling, do my foam rolling, though obviously my legs aren't up on the bed on that, but that's the intro, is a wind down time. Then there's a business between the intro and the show. Again, that's how free twice a week, the sponsors there. And then there's our bedtime story. Tonight it'll be about a pillow pet that took its own journey. And then there's thank yous at the end of the show. And that's all. I mean, I guess that's about it. Like, it's something new. If you're a regular listener, you might say, like, usually Koa used to sleep in Sophia's room, even when Sophia's not at my house. But And then sometimes Koa would sleep in my room. And then lately I said, do you want to sleep in my room? I noticed a couple times she would go upstairs and sleep in the, living room, common room, whatever. And I said, do you want to sleep in my, I noticed you're sleeping upstairs, so you want to come in my room and sleep? I'll set a bed up again. I didn't know you wanted to sleep in the same room as me. And that's been nice. Her presence has been nice. And it's also been nice that we have a little wind down time. And I think it helps Koa too, because I say, otherwise, I guess so I'd feel RUDE. I'd say, okay, you get in your bed, I'll get in my bed. Because I think that's one of the things she liked about Sophia's bed. Maybe this is going too much pandering. But even when Sophia wasn't at my house, the night she doesn't stay with me, I would get in bed with Koa in her bed and read next to Koa as part of my wind down routine. Then I would go and get in my bed. I'd say, good night, Koa, and I'd pat her on the head or whatever, and I'd go get in my bed. So now we're working on, bedtime resiliency. Well, I guess I was trying to make a joke about it, but it's not a joke. It's like having a bedtime routine is more just about having that time set aside, and then it can kind of be malleable. You say, okay, well, now we'll do it on the floor in my room. Not as comfortable as a bed, but there is some comfort to it because I'm close to my doggy poo and I'm chilling out. But I think that's it. I make the show because you're important and your sleep is important. I hope I can help. Now, like I said, this doesn't work for everybody. If you definitely, I say, give the show a few tries. It's free. But if you definitely don't like the show, sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you is a place where you can find more sleepy stuff, sleep audio and stuff like that, sleep podcasts to check out. But yeah, I'm glad you're here. I really appreciate your time. I work really hard. I earn and I strive, and I really hope I can help you fall asleep. And here's a couple of ways when your hand hits that fridge tomorrow to remember of how I do it free twice a week. Thanks. All right, everybody, it's Scoots here, and we're getting into that spring season where there's allergens in the air that impact me. I have an air doctor running in my office and bedroom, which is the same place, my daughter's room, and taking the allergens out of the air, taking the germs out of the air, taking the pollutants out of the air. It gives me peace of mind, and it makes me feel good because I know I'm breathing better, because before having full air doctor coverage, I could not when I meditated, I could not breathe through my nose. So you got to check out Air Doctor. Those 20,000 breaths we breathe a day, and Air Doctor filters out those dangerous contaminants so your lungs don't have to. It uses an ultra HEPA filter that's been independently tested to remove 99.99% of tested bacteria and viruses, plus allergens like pollen, dust, and smoke. And in a recent independent study, the Air Doctor 3000 series was even tested and proven to remove 99.97% of the live SARS-CoV-2 virus in a test chamber. And while no air purifier can prevent the transmission of COVID, it does provide me and my family with added peace of mind, knowing it's backed by science and rigorous third-party testing. A professional quality HEPA air purifier is recommended by leading medical experts as an effective way to reduce airborne germs and viruses and protect your home. Make sure you get an Air Doctor to keep you and your family safe this winter and spring. Air Doctor comes with a no questions asked 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you don't love it, just send it back for a refund minus shipping. Just go to airdoctorpro.com and use the promo code SLEEP, and you'll receive a 35% discount on their classic Air Doctor 3000 purifier. That's right, 35% off, but only if you go to airdoctorpro.com and use that promo code SLEEP. That's airdoctorpro.com and use that promo code SLEEP. 35% off. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, it is time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Audible. And I'm getting so much out of listening to Mel Robbins' new podcast. Here's exactly what to do. To keep the New Year positivity going, Audible has created a destination for complete well-being that delivers inspiration, encouragement, and actionable steps no matter what your goals are. At audible.com/wellbeing, Audible editors have curated a range of titles featuring experts in a wide range of self-care and self self-development categories, from mastering your emotions and improving your relationships to getting in shape and finding more success at work and home. Among the listens are brand new titles from some of the most inspiring original voices in the genre, including best-selling self-help expert Mel Robbins from the 5-Second Rule, Start Here, who returns with a new podcast called Here's Exactly What to Do. Coach Pamela has created Mastering the Skill of Reinvention, which can help you turn the life you dream into the life you live. Renowned music producer and performer Measure offers Measure Frequency, a revitalizing journey into the healing power of music. Listening opens up a world of opportunities for discovering insights wherever you are, and these titles can give you the confidence and the motivation you need to build the life you deserve. And that's available only on Audible. It's audible.com/wellbeing. Audible.com/wellbeing. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody. Tonight is it's time for a tale that is both real and imagined. And I don't know what to call it. Pillow Pet, where have you gone? Oh, Pillow Pet, where have you gone? And it starts not that long ago, believe it or not, the summer of a year, a recent year that had just gone by, the most recent summer, if you're listening. And during that summer, a family went on a trip, and there was parental figures, there was grandparental figures, and there was a child, a very loving child. And she was at a stage in her life where, she was going between being a tween and a teen, which is, not easy, because technically when you're a teen, you're depending on what you could be considered an adult, or you're not an adult, or you get treated and you're changing, your responsibilities are changing, all of that. But there was one or two steady things in this child's life, and one of those things was Pillow Pet. Pillow Pet was what you would call a stuffy or stuffed animal. Maybe it could be a corporate brand, but it was also just happened to be the name. If you say, well, that's a Pillow Pet, that's what it is when you buy it. Its name is Pillow Pet, by the way. And that's what she called this thing. It was Pillow Pet. And actually, it was important. The name is important because there was other Pillow Pets in this kid's life. There was a frog-like Pillow Pet that was not called Pillow Pet. And if you had to ask me, if you put me on the spot, you say, Scoots, tell me exactly more about this Pillow Pet, what it is physically, and break it down for me. And I'd say, okay, I'll try. I could try to do that. So Pillow Pet, I believe, is a toy. And now I think it's a toy that may have only been purchased at drugstores, but I'm not sure about that. So don't quote me. It could have been more popular than that. And maybe at a time it was popular. And it's a stuffed animal or a stuffed plush toy. And my impression was that it was something that could be folded into a pillow and then unfolded and played with. And that's what the original Pillow Pets may have been. But this Pillow Pet that I'm speaking of was, I think it could have been folded up into a smaller pillow, but it was the shape of a small flat pillow. It's rectangular and not square. But if you said comparable to a throw pillow, but about 3/4 of a throw pillow, because it's a rectangle, not a square. And it's a rectangle where the sides are it's a rectangle width-wise and not height-wise. So it's wider than it is tall. And its thickness, I would put at about 1.5 to 2 inches from puff to puff, maybe 3 inches if you're really at first discovery. And this Pillow Pet, I would say, was cow style. though it could have been a Dalmatian. So, I'm sorry. I guess that's my first apology to Pillow Pet. Pillow Pet, where art thou? My first apology is that, it was, I'm pretty sure it was a cow. So it was a rectangle. It was soft, like a really nice fur on one side, and then another, like, belly, like fur on the other side. You could use it as a pillow. I would need to fold it over as a prop pillow. And then it had a little plush head that also was not intrusive if you were using it as a pillow, and a tail, and maybe a couple hands, and it was very portable, so good for taking on trips. Of all the plush you would take, and normally for this young child, there was a polar bear, which was a polar bear, a plush polar bear, and there was a Dalmatian of the 101 Dalmatians, name I forget. Those two are still with us. Still part of our family. And Pillow Pet, you are too, because, not our family. This is a fictional story. This is actually, no, it's a true story and a fictional story. Well, not fiction. So we made this trip this one summer, and Pillow Pet was coming along for the ride. Now, if you're a plush and you're on vacation, you don't get to do everything. So Pillow Pet was there in the room at the Caribbean Beach Resort in, I think, Trinidad North was the area we were in. Maybe, I don't think it was Trinidad South. And the Caribbean Beach Resort is a Disney resort, very bright buildings to be themed after different areas in the Caribbean. And you could say that it is very Disney-esque as far as you say, okay, the bright pastel-y type buildings. And there's a lake, a canal type lake, like they have at a lot of places, a lot of walking. None of this would have been important to Pillow Pet, but it is kind of important because you had to walk a lot, which, go get your coffee, you had to walk, go get your soda or your food, you had to walk, go to a pool, you had to walk, go to get the bus, or not very often when it wasn't stormy, you could walk and take a skyline or a gondola. But Pillow Pet could really only experience this through our eyes and through our recaps, because Pillow Pet's role as a plush is a comforter and as a pillow, really, as a snuggable pillow. And one of the big advantages of being a Pillow Pet. Oh, what's a Pillow Pet? I guess I described it. It's a pillow, it's a plush, it's a Pillow Pet. But this particular Pillow Pet was also named Pillow Pet. And it didn't even have a shortened name. It was just Pillow Pet. Never PP or Pillow Pet or Pet or Pillow. Pillow Pet. Where's my Pillow Pet? Where's Pillow Pet? Make room for Pillow Pet. So Pillow Pet, with the other plushes and everything that I would stuff in my pockets all day long and have to empty out, would be at the hotel room all day long. And Pillow Pet would also be in bed most of the time. And these particular rooms had full-size beds, which made for quite a comfortable if you were sharing a room with more like multiple people. You say you had one adult in one full bed, and then an adult who makes a sleep podcast and their kid in another full bed, and Pillow Pet. It was quite the scene, man. A lot of tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble, or tossing, turning, temperature, impossible to regulate. Pillow Pet was there to witness all these things, but we wouldn't be telling you this story, even for a sleep podcast, if that was all there was to it. because there was a couple elements to this thing. One of which is that it was, I don't know what they call it, adjusted housekeeping, which is totally understandable in this particular resort and Disney resorts. They do try to, even before changes in the world, they tried to get you to do this anyway. And I'm sure they had like a lot of people with a lot of experience in spreadsheets and, very great educations who said, how much do you think, how much does it cost to clean a room? Like total cost. And what do you think is the least we can offer retail to a guest, even though and then like, what are our costs to get them to not clean the room every day or not at all? And I don't know when they started doing this. I know that the first time my daughter and I made a father-daughter trip, maybe it was 17 or 18, 2017, 2018, they said, hey, we'll give you whatever, $5 a night or 10, maybe it was even $10 a night, or maybe it was just $50 total. To not clean your room at all. You could get towels, but we're not going to clean your room. We're going to look in there, but we're not going to clean anything, or we'll only clean it once every 4 days. Or I don't know what the arrangement was. And I believe that one time I said yes, and then after that I said no, because like I said, well, probably better off having it cleaned every once in a while. And this particular trip, it happened to be some or other kind of modified, where once every 3 days or every other day, they would change the bedding, and once every 3 days, or they would clean your room or something like that. It wasn't ever spelled out, or if it was, I wasn't listening. But so we did get used to, which is totally like legitimate. And well, if it was another hotel, I'd say it's totally legitimate. But with this particular company, I feel like they're stretching things a little too far. But anyway, not important, because what's important is that Pillow Pet got used to just being left in the sheets. And if you share a bed with old Scoots, one, you're going to need multiple blankets while he has a sheet, because he wants the room to be cold. And he's probably going to want his own top sheet, and that's all he's going to sleep with. So your bedding and he does a lot of tossing and turning. So you're going to be caught up in those sheets and stuff. But still, you are a Pillow Pet. You do have some weight and stuff. And normally you would get, like if someone came to clean the room, you'd easily be found, discovered as they were separating things. But this was a unique time in history, and everybody was under a little bit of extra distraction, or new to their position, or they had to do more was being asked of them than probably by giant corporations. It probably was fair. And so this is where the tale of Pillow Pet starts. It's like one day, their Pillow Pet was, and I told the story kind of already once, soothed, because, I guess you can finish it from our perspective before I tell Pillow Pet's side of the story. So I think what happened is came back to the room, beds were made, and maybe, and I'm sorry about this, Pillow Pet, if you're listening, I'm not sure your absence was immediately detected. Or if it was, it became, anybody seen Pillow Pet? No, Pillow Pet will turn up, though, because the other thing about Scooter and also his daughter, and if also sharing a room, even if you're sharing the room with another family member that may be more organized, Scooter's not. And if he's in a hotel room for 3 days, any table surface is going to be covered with receipts, podcasting equipment, knickknacks, and change, big chaotic, which is also a condition for losing a pillow pet because you said, well, in all this chaos, yeah, you're right, pillow pet might be under a suitcase or like clothes that are cleaned because Scooter likes to do a lot of laundry, doesn't like to bring a lot of clothes. So at the time, it wasn't that important, but then it was checkout time. And oh boy, during checkout time, did we look, and we couldn't find old Pillow Pet. And oh boy, was that a moment where we were, usually we, like Scooter particularly likes to start to organize his room a day before checkout or start to pack slowly because it's too strenuous. Undoing the chaos, he likes to do it in stages, not the morning of checkout or late at night the night before. Neither one of those, he's learned, makes him comfortable. So he likes to do it like the morning before the morning of checkout. Maybe say, okay, I'm going to pack this suitcase up at least, or I'm going to start to organize this. Maybe even like, so he hits peak chaos right in the middle of a vacation and then tries to retract. And other people have their own ways of dealing with it, and so... But just to say that Pillow Pet was not discovered under the beds, no Pillow Pet. In the suitcases, no Pillow Pet. No Pillow Pet at all. And so Scooter went down to the main lobby, which was quite a walk that he loved to do. And he said to the people at the lobby, Pillow Pet is missing. Or maybe he called. And they said, okay, well, there's two things you could fill out, two separate forms, one for laundry and one for lost and found. And we'll automatically email you. Just tell us. So we filled out those forms and said, we're missing a Pillow Pet. It goes by the name of Pillow Pet. And this is what the Pillow Pet looks like. This is a link to where you could find this Pillow Pet. And... yeah, that's what we're trying to find is our lost Pillow Pets. But that's not where and to kind of say, well, Pillow Pet was never found. But just recently, other things were going on. And someone said, I really miss Pillow Pet. I might be a teen now. I might be tough on the outside. I might be resilient on the inside. But I still have a heart, and a part of my heart hurts because Pillow Pet's not in my life anymore. And I said, I understand. It makes perfect sense. So let's write an ode first to Pillow Pet, or just do some, you like type, you're not like an ode, but where you kind of wail, and you say, oh, Pillow Pet, where are you? Oh, we miss you. You just make some pronouncements and you vocalize your strong feelings. That's one thing we really do. And that really does help you at least to vocalize your strong feelings. And wail. Is that what I said? Wail. You really wail. Oh, Pillow Pet. Oh. But then once you get some wailing in, and then you feel that attachment you still have, even I, who took Pillow Pet for granted most of the time. Never had a resentment with Pillow Pet, though. Maybe there was a moment or two maybe, but I don't recall. But, I mean, probably, if you're with me, there's always 100% chance there was at least one moment where I said, "Juice, Pillow Pet, you're slowing us down." So I'm sorry about that, too. But I had to think about things from Pillow Pet's perspective. And I thought about it, and I said, well, there's Pillow Pet. And, oh, you want to take over? Yeah, so there I was, just a Pillow Pet. Had gone into what you would call a hibernating mode, both a way for us to extend our lifespan and cope. So, because you say, don't you feel lonely? I say, no, we go into a hibernation mode. So we don't actually get lonely. We're lonely, for a few moments when hibernation turns off before we've connected with our child. But otherwise, we go into a normal hibernation state. So I was hibernating. I was in a pile of sheets and a comforter and the spare hotel blanket and a spare sheet and a pillow. Now it's comfortable. I was in hibernation mode where I just I just am in a state of shutdown, more or less. And I heard the door open, and I had been through this before, actually, hundreds of times, maybe not hundreds of times, but figuratively at least. And a lovely person came in to change the bedding around. And this particular style hotels, or any hotel in a tourist area based with children, a lot of times I get placed on the nightstand with the other plushes. And, we come out of hibernation because let's say this person's really nice. They're humming a tune. They're making the most of things. And they're just changing the bedding and the towels only because it's a modified schedule. But this particular time, I don't know what it was. I think it was just that I was really caught up in the sheets. Really a lot of tossing and turning, plus 2 sets of top sheets because of the scooter temperature situation. Not that it was anyone's fault. It was a bunch of events coming together. But I got wrapped up and I got tossed in a kind of like a sack at first with the pillowcases. Oh, maybe it was a pillowcase I was in. It must have been. I didn't even realize it till now. And I was in there with the sheets and the pillowcases. And then I got tossed into a bin. Now I know it was a turquoise bin with other pillowcases and towels and sheets. And I went into light hibernation mode there because they said, well, this has never happened before. But I'm sure it'll turn out just fine. And that's a good thing about hibernation mode. People talk about resiliency. Hibernation mode makes you say, okay, well, I have a way to cope with this. It's outside my comfort zone. Don't know where I'm going. I'll be observing things, but my limbic system, for use your parlance, will be shut down. So I won't be in a mode of worrying about what's going to happen. Another thing you need to know, anticipating what's happening next, is that, I've been washed before in a washing machine. But for a while I sat in this bin. Then I felt the bin being pushed by the same person because I could hear their beautiful humming. And I felt them push me somewhere. Then I heard them having a conversation with someone else. I heard the sounds of an engine or a motor. And then I heard clink, clank, 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 clank. And I felt... It's just like a train being assembled on times I've watched television. Watched a lot of television, obviously. I'll come, you leave the TV on, I'll come right out of hibernation mode, even if I'm alone. Really isn't that different a thing. But so, what I was assuming was there was a train of these bins being assembled. And then I felt us moving. I heard the engine of something I had seen and I would see again, which was like a cart. Maybe they call it a golf cart or a Cushman cart, a utility cart. But we started moving. And I said, well, we're moving. And I did shout around to see if there was any other the plush stuffed animals that I knew. Princess, the Dalmatian, or polar bear, but no, neither one answered my call. But I said, okay, it's fine. I know I'm with all the bedding. Bedding doesn't have much to say because if bedding could talk, you wouldn't want to know. So that's why bedding doesn't really, particularly hotel bedding, but even general bedding. They had nothing to say. And even if you did say it, they'd say, well, even if it has something to say, it's none of your business. Because there's it's a different relationship like, bedding is right up, it knows everything. I think it feels your dreams. But the thing about bedding is it's not, it doesn't have anything to say good or bad. It's there with you. I guess when humans use the word compassion, bedding is something like that. It's there through your good times and your bad times, through the times your back sweats because you got a coldy cold and because your back's sweating. Oh boy, is it sweating. Or maybe you're sweating in a dream or something else. You're dreaming about something good, something bad, your bedding's there with you. And so I was enveloped in the same bedding, and I felt the bedding saying, hey, we see you're in a light hibernation mode. So it was feeling that with me. And maybe because I'm made of the same materials, I understood better than humans might, that is say, oh, this is here with me. It's experiencing it with me. And that brought me comfort. And the bedding did talk a little bit, said, we're going to the laundry. And I said, well, thanks for letting me know. And I said, like a washing machine? I said, yeah, but it's an industrial laundry. Did you get separated from your family? Yeah, apparently I did. And what's an industrial laundry? Well, it's just a big washing machines. And the good news is this particular hotel has it on site. I've been at other hotels. You got to go to a central location, and then you get distributed. But I'm sure that you'll be separated out when they separate the towels and the sheets and the blankets and the pillowcases, and they'll discover you, and you'll be fine. And I said, okay, great stuff. And eventually we reached our location, and we sat for a while, but not too long, because we need to be cleaned because you can't leave laundry sitting around. Anybody knows that. And we got, I went into kind of hibernation mode because I didn't want to, I guess it naturally happened. Maybe part of me didn't want to know what was going to happen with the separation. And I said, once I'm separated, I'll click back in when I feel that human touch or nearby. But I felt myself going to the washing machine, and it was much bigger than I expected, and really warm, nice. I felt totally disinfected. Holy cow. And then I was dried, and I still was not identified somehow. I was dried with a bunch of towels. I don't know, maybe they thought, I don't know. Maybe I was still caught in a towel. That I was hibernated for that. And then we came out and we were getting separated to, like, I think where the towels would be. I don't know if they would get ironed or pressed and folded. But I felt myself in a big stack of towels. And I said, the towels were telling me about the pressing, and they said, well, you're not as thin as us, so you'll definitely get discovered before you get pressed. And I said, well, I'm not really into being pressed. I'm a pillow pet. And they said, well, maybe you could make a move or something. And I said, yeah, that's probably for the best. So I slowly started to make my way up through the towels, and I was still in yet another bin. And I got to the top of the bin, and I said, well, then I heard people moving around. So I said, I'll just lie at the top of the bin. And then someone came, and they moved to the bin. And then someone came by, and they saw me, and they put me on the top of, like, a dryer or something. And it was dusty up there. And I didn't really like that because I was clean. I didn't like it. Now, the dust was laundry dust. So in some sense, it was clean dust. I realized that as I brushed it off me, because then the lights went out. It must have been the end of the shift. The laundry, the people in the laundry always joke, laundry's always going. Laundry waits for no one. That's some of the jokes I heard. But I also, because I'm a pillow pet and not a person, I don't really have a sense of time. And I don't have a sense of regret either. If I was like a human, I'd say, well, if I would have just stayed there, maybe somebody would have found me. Maybe they would have filled out the proper reports or checked to see if there was a missing pillow pet. They would have known I was a pillow pet. Or they would have been so invested, they would have looked, and then they would have returned me to my family. But I don't have a sense of regret. Because you can't have one if you're a pillow pet, because you're where you are. You always are where you're supposed to be. It's programmed into our sense of being, because otherwise you'd say, like, let's just say, because I've watched a lot of TV and I've seen a lot now that I've been on my own. You see, you go home with a kid and you had imagined you were going to be with a different kid. And then you say, well, I'm not so sure about this kid. I don't like the way, I want to go to a tea party. I don't want to go to like a pillow pet as a Frisbee party. And I want to be used as a pillow and not as in the crook of the kid's arm. You're not where you are. You're somewhere else. And it's impinging on what you're there to do, which is just to be you, a pillow pet. That's all you got to do is just be you and be there and be present. And the kid or the adult or the person will take the lead. And sure, there's things like that I would say are not okay, but we don't have, we can't just say, don't wipe, if you have a runny nose, use a tissue. For the love of all pillow pets in the world, we don't have that option either. Not that I've experienced that, but I've seen it now. Now, maybe there was something that happened because, like I said, we're not supposed to be able to just walk around. But I don't know, maybe there must have been something in that clean laundry dust, because I started to say, well, I'm not going to lie here. And I don't know. So if I had a sense of regret, I wouldn't have moved. But if I guess some sort of change had taken place in me where I was changed from being this passive pillow pet to an active pillow pet. And I guess I couldn't just lie around and hope that I would end up in the right place anymore. And I think part of me is a realist because the people I was with, they were kind of realists. And they would have said how much time passed, how much time was on the vacation. And maybe it would have made me feel a little down, but it also would have said the time probably passed. They definitely looked for you. I could feel that. I could feel their love. But they couldn't find you. They didn't even know that there happened to be an on-site laundry here. And it's not publicly accessible anyway. So, and they called and they got told to just fill out this form at this website. Or maybe it got emailed to them, whatever it was. So I didn't have time. So whatever, I got down off that laundry. It just happened to be those few hours when the laundry was silent. And I did say to myself a few things that have carried me forward. And I think it was the advice of the laundry. I said, okay, I think I'm going to be a nocturnal pillow pet because from what I know about vacations and stuff, especially this place, it's pretty busy during the day. And so I set out, and what I would learn is that, it was like the middle of the night. I snuck out of the laundry. It wasn't hard at all. There was a door, and I did, well, it was hard, but not for me because, pillow pet, persistence of pillow pets First, I had to jump off something, jumped on the handle of the door, and it opened. Because it was one of those handles with, not a round handle. And I exited the laundry, and I found myself in a road with a ton of carts, and those cars that drive the carts. And I said, okay, this is how I came in, and this is how all the laundry moves. And the first thing I did was retrace my steps. Now, I was quite far away because I was on the central building where the food is and the check-in. I think they call it Old Port Royale. And so I walked through there, and the good thing about being a pillow pet in Nocturnal is, one, hard to see you. Two, I don't know, I got pretty good at being stealthy, and because of my coloring, I just happen to be somewhat, if it's nighttime, somewhat camouflaged. During the day, I would probably look like some sort of cat walking around or a pillow pet. But at night, especially in I kept to the bushes and the stuff. So I went through alongside the food building, Old Port Royale. I could see cobblestones and indoor and outdoor tables. Then I went along a boardwalk, and I said, okay, I think, remember listening to all the conversations in the hotel room and even looking at some of the stuff on the tables, and when they were walking through the day, they were holding me. I was in bed with them. And luckily, they use a lot of this for material for their podcast and stuff. So I said, I got to get to Trinidad North and know that much. So I did see a map. I said, okay, I think I know how to get there. I think I know how to read a map. So I headed I knew I wanted to head towards the water and then make a left. And so, yeah, went from this cobblestone to this boardwalk, which went around a restaurant. And then I took a left, and there was the water on my right. The moon was on the water there, and I headed on the boardwalk. And then there was a bridge to an island. Now, the bridge was closed. There was a gate across it. And it said, Castaway Key open from whatever, dawn till dusk or something like that. I said, okay, well, that's closed. Interesting. So I proceeded to walk a little further. And then I saw the pool. I think the pool had a name. And there was actually, the lights were still on. No one was there. But so the pool was calm. It had fake cannons that water was dribbling out of. And it looked like some sort of old type fort or castle. And I'll be honest with you, I said to myself, what would my humans want me to do? Is because there's a water slide. I said, go down that water slide. And then I said, I think I can swim. And then I said, well, maybe I should do this later. And then I said, no, pillow pets, let's be in the now, man. So then I saw that they had all these life preservers, and they had one for toddlers. So I grabbed one of those, and I went up the stairs, because it's easy for me to go through the fence to get to the pool. I had to walk around the pool, the far side of the pool. Got the preserver, and I said, I know I can't wear this, but I could use it as a boat or a float. Like I'll use it, I'll go on my stomach, I'll hold this. Anyway, I'll explain it to you. So I went up the stairs. That took a long time because I had to drag the life preserver behind me or jacket, and I got this up, and I knew there was no water running in the slide, which was good because I'm soft. So I practiced at the top of the slide. I said, okay, I'll ride down on my back, and then right towards the end, I'll put the life jacket down in front of me, and that'll stop my momentum. I'll fall forward onto the life jacket and then go off, and I'll land on my stomach on the life jacket as a boat. And if I hold on, then I should just be able to paddle, and then only my hands will get wet and I can get out of the pool. And they said there's multiple places, there's a couple stairways that I could try to get out of the pool, but it had one of those zero entry things. So worst case, I could paddle all the way to the other end of the pool and get out. Probably be pretty tired. And that ended up being the case. Went down the water slide, and it was so fun. Oh, boy. So fun. It's one of my traditions now. Do it almost every night. So if you do ever see a pillow pet going down a water slide, it might be me, but it might not. Maybe there's other pillow pets listening now. Hug your human close. Even if you do adventures like this, you'll miss them. But this time I just did one water slide, but I was tired because I had to go all the way to the other end of the pool where the zero entry, where you could just walk in. Then I got out of the pool. I did leave the vest in the water because I was so tired. Plus, I wanted to step on it. So, again, I didn't get too wet. And I was very, very tired. So what I did was I exited the pool again. I was on a boardwalk. And I knew, again, I have to go left, but I have to walk very, very far. But the good thing is about one of my humans, the older one, he always is talking about his dream of hiding out in places and living in places. So I had heard him say one night that about halfway between where their room was and Port Royale, where the pool was, there was a bridge. And on either side of the bridge was a lot of bushes and different greenery. And he had said, I wonder if I could, maybe I'll live there for a few days, down in those bushes. I think he always wanted to be a nocturnal resident of this place. So now in some sense I was getting to fulfill his dream. And I said, okay, I can make it there. So one step after another. First, my steps were squishy, but it was a hot night. So eventually, and it was just happened to be one of those dry, hot nights. This place is notoriously, it gets very, but now I've learned how to deal with that. It gets notoriously humid. Because, spoiler alert, I learned that living outside is not for me because of the humidity. So I do live inside now. And usually I live in a room that no one's in. And I have a couple hiding spots just in case the room it didn't seem like it was rented, but it is. I can get up underneath the bed, but up is high enough that someone would have to go under the bed and look up to see me. But this particular night, what I did was go into this bridge that went over the canal lake, and actually, it was cool because the gondolas were running. They must have been practicing or something, and they made these cool, silent, almost sounds of, and there was a couple different ones, and they were all moving. So I got in these bushes that surrounded the base of this bridge, and I got comfortable there, and I fell asleep just as the sun was coming up, and there I went into hibernation. And I stayed there the whole day. Now, it was very warm, and it did start to get humid. But then I got up around 2 in the morning, I'd say, once I stopped hearing anything. And there are still people up moving at that time. But like I said, I'm more or less invisible. And I got up and I went under the bridge because there was a walking path. And then went up under the bridge again. And I realized that the human, he had said it was halfway, but he was totally wrong. Because after you come up under the bridge, there's a path that still goes along the water, right? And that's where you go from one of the places to Trinidad, north or south, or maybe, I don't know. And then you go along the path and there's some benches. And if you go left, the parallel to the road, you go to the parking lots. But if you keep going, then there's more benches and garbage cans. And I knew the garbage can was my marker, that it was the room closest to the garbage can. Because the human, he said, what a jackpot. We got a room close to an outside garbage can. So we could throw our garbage outside, like if you had leftovers or something weird. He just loved, I don't know, there was something that brought him happiness about that. So he was really happy. And so I kept going, and the first thing I noticed was the lights were out in the room, but I also knew that wasn't a good idea, to bug any humans. The other problem I had, though, was that, there's not very good coverage there for me to hide. And so I didn't know what to do. I was a bit torn. It was just 3, 4 in the morning. The lights were out. I couldn't tell if anybody was in the room or not, if they were there. And I didn't want to be discovered if it wasn't them. And the realist in me said it's probably been a week. So you're probably not going to find them. But so what I did do is I said, okay, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? None of these bushes here are going to be able to keep me hidden during the day. And I tried to go in the vent for the air conditioning, but it felt wet and too cold and not a good idea. And I said, okay, well, this is quite a conundrum here. Like, where could a pillow pad lay low, but also have a view of the room? And then I remembered, the garbage can, because the garbage can had a top. And I said, wait a second, I could probably, it had a raised top, like a roof, so the rain couldn't get in the garbage can, but that you could throw stuff in. And I said, well, it won't be the most comfortable place for me to go. If I could wedge myself in the top of the garbage can, people would still throw garbage in below me. Nobody's going to look in the top of the garbage can unless someone comes to change it. Maybe even then they wouldn't look in it because it had a door. And I said, maybe that's a good place. And I said, I have a line of sight to the door. And so I lied there. I got it, I eventually got in there. Now, oh boy, not a good idea. Luckily, my system's much different than a mammal's because it was really warm during the day there. It did happen to rain a lot of the day, but when the sun was out, I didn't like it one bit. And I watched that room, and I watched it for 2 days, I'll be honest with you, because I'm a little bit stubborn, just like my humans. But I didn't see them. The door never opened or closed. I had on light hibernation, so anytime I heard a noise, I came out of hibernation. No one came in and out of that room. Turned out it wasn't rented. And I said to myself, okay, Pillow Pet, this is what it is. This is what it is. Let's go on the water slide and let's be where we are. And I just said, I guess it's time to see, what would they want? They'd want me to be where I am, too. How can I love my family the best? Is to start living my new life. And I also knew, like the humans, they, I seen the human that does the podcast, struggle with feeling like, oh, that's too much. Maybe I just need to lie down, or I wish I could just lie down and let it all, it's all too much. It's just too, And I said, yeah, I feel a little bit like that too. But what an opportunity. So the first thing I did was go down the water slide. Then I said my human would want me to drink soda. And what could be more human than drinking soda? Now, I had to think exactly like my human would, because the soda machines, you need some sort of microchip to make them work. Now, they are on even when the place is closed down for the night. So what I did was I said, okay, so my human, I think he's even said to one of his siblings, don't just throw your cups away when you're leaving. They said, well, we don't need them. So I found a place where a lot of the stuff got thrown away. And I found a lot of those cups, and eventually it took me a while to break the bottom of the cup open to find that there was a microchip in those cups. And then I actually found long story, but this is progress. There's a gift shop. There's sewing kit in the gift shop. There was actually free giveaway ones. So I got a sewing kit. I opened up one of my paws, put the microchip in my paw, sewed it back up. First I tested to make sure it would work. And it was good for 6 months or something. So then I get, when I tested it, this is what I do now. Sometimes I like to take an ice bath just for fun. I say, wee. I just press the ice and it comes over me. And a couple times, I've heard people were working and they said, what's that ice noise or whatever? And I've had to hide. But it's pretty easy to hide behind the machines. And because I've been so mobile, I've been getting faster and faster. And it turns out unlimited soda for a pillow pet is not a great example because I can eat anything I want, more or less. I mean, I eat a lot of uncompleted, unfinished human food. And I can drink sparkling water, but yeah, now I put my paw down, pick my soda, and I did have to add this thing from that I got from the gift shop that you can use a touch pen to one of my fingertips so I could use the touch screen. But yeah, I drink soda. I say, okay, let me try that. A little cherry whatever. And then I started going out to I explored the Castaway Key. It had a playground. I went on the slides. I actually think I prefer this playground slide towards the end of the night because you don't have to worry about water or a life vest or whatever. And I did think about putting the life vest on my inside, but then my outside would still get wet. And I can take a bath at the laundry anytime I want. I figured out how to do all that. There's actually a smaller laundry, with regular machines. And I figured out I hacked that thing. It took me a while to learn that. I had to go on the internet in somebody's office. But I figured out how to do that. And yeah, I mean, that's all that's going on with me for now. And then I'll go into a room. I actually go and I check the computer. I say, okay, that room's not going to be rented. It's out of inventory or something they call it. For the most part, that's pretty good. I get into bed. I get comfortable. I'll be under the covers or I'll sleep under the bed. But I'm just beginning my adventures, I think. I'm excited to be where I am right now, which is getting comfortable because it's just about 7 a.m. and I'm about to go to sleep. So I'm getting comfortable here. I'm snuggled in a room and I'm relaxed and I'm thinking of the love my family sends me and I'm sending it to them. And I'm feeling the compassionate holding of my bedding right now as I, pillow pet, go off to sleep. Good night. All right, I want to thank everybody that became a patron recently. I want to thank Peter, Claire, and Riley. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Debbie, Josh, and Kitten. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Caroline, Carla, and Emma. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Amber, Corey, and Jenna. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Olga, Evan, and Gray. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Naomi, Matthew, and Puyan. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Ori, Kim, and Jesse. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Liz, Jonathan, and Leandre, thank you. Thanks. Good night. And Diane, Patsy, and Mike, thank you. Thanks. Good night. Thanks, everybody, for the support. And I couldn't do it without all you. Sleep With Me is free because of the people that support the show on Patreon, support our sponsors. We grow as a podcast by people spreading the word about the podcast, referring people to the show. And you could do that at sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer, or just let people know about podcasts in general. That's a huge help. Here's a little bit more about how you can support the show. Thanks. All right, everybody, it is time to talk about Helix Sleep. I mean, what kind of bed are you sleeping in? Do you want an upgrade? Do you want a bed that's made for the way you sleep? I mean, I love my Helix mattress. Came straight to my door. I took the Helix quiz. I got matched with the Helix Dusk. But I get to see when my friends or family need a bed, I say, hey, take the Helix quiz, helixsleep.com/sleep. It takes just 2 minutes to complete, matches your body type and sleep preferences to the mattress. It's perfect for you. Like I said, you don't want to buy something made for someone else. With Helix, you're getting the mattress you know will be perfect for the way you sleep. Everybody's unique, and Helix knows that. That's why they have several different mattress models to choose from. Soft, medium, firm. Mattress is great for cooling you down if you sleep hot. Spinal alignment to keep away those morning aches and pains. Even Helix Plus mattress for plus-size sleepers. And I sleep hot. I sleep on my side. I sleep on my stomach. And the Helix Dusk Luxe fits my needs perfectly. So if you're looking for a mattress, you take the quiz, you order the mattress you're matched to, and the mattress comes right to your door, shipped for free. You don't ever need to go to a mattress store again. And Helix is awesome. You don't have to take my word for it. It's been recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine as a go-to solution for improving sleep. So like I said, just go to helixsleep.com/sleep, take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that'll give you the best sleep of your life. They even have a 10-year warranty. You get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free, and they'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you will. Helix has financing options and flexible payment plans, so a great night's sleep is never far away. So now is the time. Right now, Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/sleep. That's up to $200 off, but you have to use that link, HELIX sleep.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody.